false start on one of the tush pushes.
On most of them.
Really? There was how many did they run?
7.
You think there's 4?
There was 4 where they were either lined up offsides or false started.
It looks like when you look at that one though, everybody's in the neutral.
Exactly.
Offense,
all
defense,
the internet ref watchers smell blood in the water. And there it is. Maybe they've always been cheating, but here's Sirianni.
They definitely.
The one clip I saw of it was slowed down so much that I'm not sure you can see that to the naked. I mean, it was slowed down so much, and I get how we can manipulate things and show things like that, but it was slowed down so much. It was like, right? But we have to be we understand that we have to be perfect on that play.
Okay, good. Then be perfect moving forward, because here's the play he's talking about that Tom Brady said 2 guards false started on. We all can agree, and we can show it to you at the speed. I don't know if we can go full here, Hubs, or not. This is at the speed he's talking about. It's way too slow. So go ahead and run that at 2x, and let's see. I can tell. Oh, here it is. Let's see it. Here it is at 2x. Let's just see. Can you tell? I can tell. What about 3x, Hubs? Can we still see that the 2 guards jump way? Okay, I can tell there too.
You can.
That the center doesn't move, and
this is a bad look.
I don't know if the audience is
we
like
can't
that,
go
right.
back and I mean this. Okay, if you want to say they're offsides, the Chiefs are in the neutral zone.
No, but
everybody's all
here's
over
the thing.
place.
So here's the problem. You're saying the Chiefs are in the neutral zone. So that's the other piece of it that's just wrong. We'll show you an overhead look of a different one. The neutral zone.
But what about this one? I'm not
right.
About
So
a different
I don't.
Look at that. Look at 95.
Right, and that's my point. That's not the neutral zone, and that's the problem. The neutral zone is where the ball is, and you don't.
So 51's over the ball on the Eagles.
50,
yeah.
Right. The ball is under 51's numbers, and his right guard is in the neutral zone. So that's the other edge, which is why one of the reasons they're so much more effective. The defense is honoring the neutral zone. The offense is in it, and the refs can't see anything. So again, like I know you said this is a bad look. I don't know why.
I didn't say
okay.
It sounds like, I mean, I don't, the revisionist history, like the Chiefs or the Eagles been cheating all these past several years on this play. I don't want to hear that.
To be clear, hold on. I just want to make this
because
very
yesterday
clear.
you were saying they've been cheating.
No. So if I said the word cheating,
or
I
you know, doing it.
I think they have been getting. It's
the
been
whole
very
last
clear.
4 years or however long it's been.
I wonder what Nick's argument would be if the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right. I mean, come on. No, I don't want to hear that.
Hold on.
They've been bulldozing people, including the Chiefs.
Okay, so
that's all it is.
Hold on. This is where I will get upset, because I am on the record 4 years ago, before the Chiefs and Eagles ever played a single game that mattered, how much I hated this play.
That's fine, but you said yesterday, you talked yesterday like they've been, for lack of a better term, cheating, getting away with
cheating
stuff
was the word that I said in the newsread.
Not cheating. So to be clear,
more of like
I think I don't think it is cheating. I think they have recognized that they get away with it, and so they lean into it. I do think, and I've said on this show, that they jump early and they line up in front. I've said that
all the time.
With regularity. I don't know. It's certainly not every single one. With regularity, and to be clear, for my money, the Eagles have beaten my team in one game ever that mattered, and that game they didn't need the tush push. The Super Bowl, they were very effective on it. The Chiefs won. I don't really, you know what I mean? I'm not as worked up about Sunday's game as other people. I am focusing on it because it sometimes takes the broadcast shining a light on it for the league to take notice. And that's what I think is happening. And Sirianni playing patty cake with the video was slowed down so much. That's not what I believe to be true.
I wish we could live in a time where every time someone disagreed with something, they don't say it's been manipulated. Like the video is the video, and they probably did leave early, but that's always going to be the case. You're going to push the rules as far as you can push them until somebody does something about it. This is a really hard thing to officiate. I get the problem that the officials have, because the guy could have moved the ball slightly when the guards moved, but it's kind of underneath him, so you can't really see it. I imagine at the end of the day, because it's so hard to officiate, that's probably what's going to kill this.
I agree.
But I don't think it's cheating, because we've seen so many other teams do it ineffectively.
The word cheating
so
is
it's hard to hard to.
It's taking advantage with what the league will let you get away with.
Exactly.
And my question is the league going to crack down on it?
I think that's
that
a
I
good
do
question.
think.
Yeah, I do think this is the last year we'll see it.
I'm talking about during the year that they're going to be called for procedural penalties.
They're going to be. They're going to have.
It might be this week.
Yes.
This week, but I don't think they're going to get called for it because I think the Eagles are going to be super buttoned up on it. So if anything, I think they're going to be more buttoned up and be like, we can do this. Here's the tweet from the Eagles social media, where I do think this has also given the Eagles a little bit of, they hate us because they ain't us type motivation.
Yeah.
Since you guys like these slow-mo videos so much, we made another one. Saquon tweeted or had something on Instagram. Lane Johnson had something. It's a little bit of like us against the world now.
Sure.
That I think is going to benefit the Eagles.
So I buy that. Here is, if I may just quickly say, I think two things could happen based on the added scrutiny of it. One is, you're right, Wilds, and they will make sure not to jump and not be lined up in front, and I think that will make it less effective. I think it will still be a good play, but not this unstoppable, perfect play the way it has been. And the other thing that could happen is if they're like, man, we're going to run it the way we've always run it, the penalty of a false start on a 4th and 1 on your own 34 is a turnover.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Because now you're punting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the penalty of a false start on a 4th and goal from the inch line, when it's an automatic touchdown, is 4 points. And so I just think it's so dramatically punitive because they get it every time in spots they otherwise would just be giving the ball away. I don't think it takes them getting called in it a bunch for it to have a real knock-on effect.
The Chiefs did a better job Sunday of defending it. Like they stopped it twice, I believe, and some of the ones they got, it was really close.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Jayden Daniels not a guarantee to start this weekend when the Commanders take on the Raiders. Let's take a listen to Dan Quinn with an update.
Now, lots of the questions will be about our QB, but I can say here's what I know. And when I say that, it's all really that I know. So he did have an MRI, and he has already begun his return to play process with us. He is truly day-to-day. What does that mean for Sunday? I can't tell you that now.
Bro, the 1-1 Commanders in trouble.
I don't think they're in trouble right now, but you go down if they go 1-2 because Jayden can't play. I think the biggest concern for me, if I'm the Commanders, is this is his second year. His second year, he's taking a hit, and I know you're probably going to expound on it, Nick. But he runs so much and he takes some shots, and even if he can play, if he's limited, like last year he played through it, but he had that stretch where he was limited. So that would be a concern. Look, offensively, I mean, I think they're fine, but they haven't gotten McLaurin going, so you expect that to pick up. They haven't gotten their run game outside of Jayden going, and now Eckler, is on IR. So there's some concerns there. I didn't think they were a top-tier Super Bowl contender this year anyway. I think they're a contender, but I think there's a few teams ahead of them, and they kind of look like I've expected from them.
Yeah, so going into the season, my concern is them being the oldest team in the league, that there's an injury problem, or there could be an injury problem. That usually happens around mid-season with older teams. But what's happened with these guys is Jayden's hurt, but they've also lost 2 starters to season-ending injuries. They've got 3 other guys that are going to miss time. Last year, all season, they had 1 starter miss a total of 9 games.
They were the healthiest team in the league.
So they're incredibly healthy, and already is completely done. 3 guys that are going to miss time. Jayden, we don't know where he is, and this is still an older team. So as the games stack up, odds are that number is going to increase, not decrease. So that's problematic. That's a concern.
Yeah. The Thursday night was brutal for him, man. They lost Wise for the year. We think they lost Eckler definitely for the year, and Jayden got banged up. And listen, the least, as far as if people think like our takes are thought out by like what's the best strategy for TV, The worst strategic take is, I think this player is really good, but I don't trust he's going to be healthy long term, because if you're proven right, you don't get to be like, I told you so. And so, but my concerns about Jayden's frame, particularly married with his style, is those exist. And last year, to Brew's point, the only part of the year he wasn't brilliant was when his ribs were banged up, where he now didn't get through 2 weeks of this year without a knee sprain. Again, the knee sprain might have nothing to do with his frame, but it certainly could have something to do with his style.
And the rib, I mean, even if he was a little heavier, it's not like...
Well, I don't know, Coach. Coach, I'm telling you right now, if you and I both get tackled by the same force, I think you handle it better than me. The Commanders are in a tenuous spot because of those injuries that Coach is talking about, and I don't think they have this team that is built to handle, that can just, sustain without their star quarterback. You know what I mean? I think that they'd be in deep, deep trouble. So all of that concerns me.
All right, Ben Johnson, 0-2, but is optimistic about Caleb as the Bears try to get a win against Dak this Sunday on Fox. Here's the Bears coach on his quarterback. Take a listen.
I did see significant growth. It's not perfect yet. There's still a number of plays where our eyes aren't quite in the right position, or we're holding on to the ball just a tick longer than what we're coaching. But I did see tremendous growth in terms of going through the progression.
Okay, Brew, in your eyes, is Caleb headed in the right direction?
I think he looks a lot like he looked last year. You know, people forget, you mentioned yesterday, Coach, they were 4-2. And he had some big games last year.
Yeah.
He had 4 touchdowns against your Jags.
Yeah.
He had 300 yards against Detroit. You know,
he had a big game against Minnesota and Brian Flores.
Yeah. So he's faced 2 of the top 2 good defenses this year, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's been fine. I trust that with Ben Johnson, it is going to get better. But I'm saying so far, I would say he looks fine, but I don't know if I see a bunch of progress from last year, because he had his moments last season too.
Yeah, and last season was what, 20 touchdowns and 6 picks. They started off strong. They had the Hail Mary game, the 2 games they lost. Both those games were close. And when you watch them this season, there are a bunch of throws where you're like, wow, that's an impressive throw. That's a really good throw. The mistakes, which to me he can completely control, running around and then throwing it inbounds where it gets picked, and the other pick that got called back because of roughing the passer, those things need to be eliminated. And I don't think it's something that he can't fix. I do think he can. I think with Ben Johnson and this system, he's got an offensive-minded head coach who's also the offensive coordinator. That should lead to some growth as well. We want so much from young quarterbacks so quickly, and there's so much hype when a guy comes in that anything less than exceptional is considered a disappointment. He may just be taking longer than other guys, but I wouldn't sell my stock in Caleb yet. You know, it's down, but I wouldn't sell.
Listen, I didn't sell all of it. I was just over-indexed. Yeah. I was overexposed. I was worried about a margin call, and I was like, let me just diversify some risk here. I personally would argue, and I think you will think this is fair, that if there were not the coming into the league expectations, that we would not look at him as behind, clearly behind, any of the quarterbacks in his class but Jayden. Now, the one person that there might be argument of that is Bo Nix, but and maybe I'm just an extremist on where I see Bo Nix